Have you have fun all the way with us as you get aware of your security details and security issues around you and how to go about it. This program comes to you on Armed Forces Radio 107.7 FM every Tuesday after the news in Brit 49. That's when the program starts. It is a production of Sky High Security, Safety and Skills Limited. You'll find them in Fepson Mall, Wuse. Okay. Now, if you're actually out of reach, that means you can listen to us on your radio set. You can also join us via live streaming at www.mixlr.com/AFM radio. And you can visit our Facebook page on Security and Safety Platform. Just go to Facebook and search for Security and Safety Platform. You'll get the details of this program. You can also even listen to previous editions, anyone that you missed out on. Also, if you need to make any inquiry, you can send us an email to snsplatform@yahoo.com. snsplatform@yahoo.com. My name is Chinyere Gochumba, and you know, as usual, as always, I have a co-anchor on this program every morning. And she's here with me. Her name is Joy, as you know. Good morning, Joy, and welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, the one with the golden voice.
Oh, my.
Quite appreciate you. You look so charming.
Thank you. You too.
That's good. Yeah, last week on this program, we had a quiz, and some people sent in their entries, but the winner is... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Adams Akko. Adams Akko is the winner of the quiz last week.
Okay.
So if you are listening to us, please come to Armed Forces Radio for your prize.
Okay, all right. Adams Akko, you heard that. I hope you're listening today. But all the same, I think the program will still find a way to reach you.
Beautiful. Also, last week we concluded on the series on kidnapping with Compol Alobi.
Yeah.
Lawrence Alobi, Barrister Lawrence Alobi, our very special Oga. But today we'll get into a new issue entirely. We are going to be handling the role of private guards company in security development in Nigeria, because security is not one man's business, but all our business. So we want to hear from our sponsors right now.
Security is a primary component of every business. It is the need of every home. Protect your office, school, hotel, home, and other facilities. Sky High Security, Safety and Skills Limited has the answer. We provide modern security equipment such as closed-circuit television of various categories, burglary and smoke alarm systems, baggage, under-vehicle and handheld scanners. You will also get anti-bugging devices, walk-through metal detectors. Sky High Security, Safety and Skills Limited also designs trainings and capacity building on general security awareness, safety tips, sophisticated preventive safety measures. Our partners are Elkate, Oatslake, Mayforce International, and other leading global manufacturers of security and safety equipment. Visit us at Suite 6, Unit 2, Fepson Mall, Wuse Zone 6, Abuja, or call the numbers 0703 777 0063 or 0807 999 1953, or log on to www.skyhigh.com.ng or email us on skyhighnigeria@yahoo.com. Sky High Security, Safety and Skills Limited, the home of security gadgets.
The pride of every nation is a peaceful, safe, and secure society. A society devoid of kidnapping, crime, crisis, and insecurity is the dream of every true Nigerian. Security and Safety Platform, a program designed to inform, educate, and enlighten you on security issues. All you need to know about being security conscious. Security and Safety Platform comes up every Tuesday, 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Here you have a platform to contribute meaningfully and learn all you need to know on security. Security and Safety Platform, Tuesdays 9 to 10 a.m. Join us. All right. right, thanks for being there. And if you're just joining us, we're glad that you're still a part of the program today, Security and Safety Platform. And as we told you earlier on, this is actually a production of Sky High Security, Safety and Skills Limited. Now, Joy actually says something this morning. Security is everyone's business. It's not a one-person thing. And based on that, we have the best hand in the studio this morning to look at this issue. Because we know that everything about the private guard company's registration, mode of operation, amongst other things, are actually under the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. So we have a representative of the Commandant General of the NSCDC, Abdullahi Gana Muhammadu, here this morning. And he's no other person than Nathaniel Obong, ACG Private Guards Companies Department, NSCDC Headquarters, Abuja. Good morning, sir. You're welcome.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, presenters.
Okay, I think Joy is actually going to take the first shot of the questions that we have this morning.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, could you please explain to us the mandate of NSCDC?
Thank you. We have a series of responsibilities as regard our mandate. First among them is the maintenance of peace and order in the society. And the next to it is the provisions of private security services, regulations, monitoring, and supervisions of all security private practitioners in Nigeria. The Corps also have a responsibility to provide safety, disaster measures, whether they are man-made or natural disaster, to ensure victims of such circumstance are evacuated, integrated, and after back provided for and back to the society. We, as part of our responsibilities, is to ensure protection of critical infrastructure of government, both national assets and other installations that are available gathered here and there in Nigerian sector of our nations. We provide safety for this infrastructure to ensure they remain the dividend of democracy for all Nigerians. We provide 24-hour watch over those infrastructures and facilities. The power holding infrastructures, or what they call Kaduna electricity, and other installations of government, the railway, the facilities of government as regard to the airport, facilities of government as regard to the other establishments of government, both private and public sectors, infrastructures, are being given a watch over by the Corps members. And this has helped in no small measure to ensure stability and sustainability of these facilities for the benefit of all Nigerians.
Fantastic. Now, in line with the NSCDC mandate, your mandate, in protection of critical infrastructure, often we realize that the private guards companies complement your efforts.
Yes.
So how have you fared in carrying out this mandate with the private guards companies?
Yeah, thank you. The private guard establishment is a law, the Cap 367 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 90 of the 1990 rules of legal operations for the private guard company in Nigeria. The government has given us responsibility to ensure we regulate and monitor, because the creation of private guard company is to take care of the internal security of our domain, or public infrastructures, corporate infrastructures, bank industries, churches and mosques. So the private companies operate and spread around these facilities to complement the effort of specialized security services. And so from there, it has been a whole of a difference, in adding to the value of the security services by providing information and intelligence from where we annex them, process them, and get intelligence, to specialized institutions where they could be better make use of. And this has helped us in no small measure to curtail excesses of criminal tendencies and threats to life and properties of our Nigerians because of the availability of the private gas security services in our various nooks and crannies of this nation. And so we ensure that they are properly regulated, they are monitored, they are licensed to operate. For instance, no services, no company had the right to operate and to carry out the order of washing, guarding, and of course conveying of facility goods from one point to the other, except the company it may licensed or registered and licensed by the NSCDC, and of course provided a license to operate by the Minister of Interior, for which we represent. And the licenses are also renewable in yearly basis to enable us, have the class of people we think that are qualified to provide such services. We also opt to train them and to ensure they have the basic security paramilitary training to enable the officers or men they engage to be up and doing and acquire knowledge that is needed for their operation. All of these is the activities of the Corps to ensure that private security services are performing optimally in line with the established laws that cover the operations.
Okay, sir. Now let's come in terms of regulations. What are the basic requirements for operating a private security guard company? Let's say I want to start one.
Yes.
How do I go about it? Especially having standards in mind.
Yes. Yes. For you to operate as a security company in Nigeria, you must first and foremost register a company name by the Corporate Affairs Commissions. You must also raise a share capital of your company to 10 million naira, and that will qualify you to apply.
So if I don't have up to 10 million naira, I can't.
Well, you don't. It's not a payment by cash.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right.
corporate affairs know how they go about.
Yeah.
Give you a share capital of 10 million naira.
Okay.
And of course, the share are distributed among your directors.
Okay.
And then when you have this, you apply to the Commandant General, who will in turn give an approval of your request to the Office of the Private Guard Company Department of the NSCDC in the national headquarters. And they will give approval for your applications and invited you for a registration. The registration process covered a sum of 500,000 naira for all those who have applied and want to go into private security business. And you pay into single treasury accounts of the federal government. And you will also be given a personal history form to fill for the director. Each director paid 100,000 naira, depending on how many directors you have.
Okay.
It's also paid in the same manner. And after this, there's a form you fill that will be processed by the Department of State Security Services to look at your background, to know whether you're credible, to know whether you're a good Nigerian to operate social security services. And of course, for you to run such services, one of the director must be a retired service officer in the Army or the Navy or the Air Force or other security or paramilitary services, not below a commissioned officer. And this will qualify you to run a security services. And when the vetting result is released, it will be processed by our office. And you will be asked to pay for a minimum of 3 million naira for category A license, and for category B, 2.5 million naira. And these two categories imply that for category A, you can employ more than 500 staff. And for category B, you cannot employ up to 500 staff. And such is what gives you a license. And the license are signed and released by the Minister of Interior into our office, and we present to the competent operatives. And from there, you can, begin a business. Anything outside that, it implies you are taking illegality. And of course, the command cannot fold hands and watch any form of illegality, because security is a very important issue that we all fight to address.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you told us some seconds ago that the NSCDC is responsible for the training of the PGCs, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of crime control, how much training do you give to them, to the PGCs?
Yes. We have a spread of our command in all over the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. And so we send the Department of the Private Guard Company to ensure that the establishment, all of services, of private guard services in each of the states is being given maximum training by our department. We draw up a curriculum to ensure that those you hire to provide security services are properly groomed and trained. This knowledge builds a strong capacity on the staff, which you are going to engage them in your services. And so we believe that with enough capacity built on the staff, the more results we will get in the course of the service rendered for that organization. And so we take it as a major priority on the part of the Corps to ensure the staff of the private guard companies are trained. And this has helped in the reductions of crime because the staff who is working as a security guard will be able to write a report, able to inform the company of who is an intruder, who comes in there, who goes out, and to be able to check asset control and be able to also, of course, place surveillance on the installations of the government, of the people of the private firm, and monitor them to ensure reports are collated and, of course, made available to the office of the operations. And, of course, where it becomes very difficult for them, they can also pass a report to the NSCDC. So these interactions, these cooperation and collaboration have helped in no small measure to tame down the negligence and lack of capacity in the course of the activities in the Ashiro's operations.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, obviously, many of the private guards companies are doing very, very well. Yes. No doubt about that. Yes. But what's your rating? What's your assessment of the PGCs? How have they fared by your standard?
Yes, the strength of our country is very enormous. And, of course, the UN standard for policing is like 1,000 people to one policeman. And for 400-something million Nigerians, you can imagine how many policemen do we have to be able to cover the enormous spread of Nigerian populace. And so this is the way the private guard company complements the effort of the police. And so we have felt their impact because they have covered the gap, bridged the gap between the populace and, of course, the services that security services provided for all Nigerians. So we have felt their impact. We have felt their importance. And we have given them the maximum, impacts in terms of training and capacity building. And this is why we believe that wherever the private guards are being found, they should be given recognitions because that is what is happening globally. In America, we have the Home Guard. In other places where, other nations of the world, they are not treated as just get openers and people who don't have, what it takes to provide safety in their client's premises. But in Nigerian context, the people who have been properly licensed to provide such services have what it takes, to deliver and, of course, to meet the aspirations of their clients. And we have been receiving feedback for what they are doing well, good recommendation from their client to provide such services. And it's at our own glory and, of course, for the benefit of all Nigerians, that the private guard indeed have turned in a position of giving adequate, security provisions for the entire citizenry. Of course, where you hire them, you know that they are there for you at all times. And so the workforce, the synergy that we decide is very robust and very enabling, and we are proud about them.
Okay, but is it possible to have people who are doing the wrong thing, to have defaulters, those who are not observing best practices? What happens? Do you monitor these ones to ensure that?
Yes, thank you very much. We also have enforcement unit, the monitoring groups of all the state command, even in our headquarters here in Abuja, where we check their quacks, the people who are not willing to be licensed or not willing to be registered, but they carry their vehicle, their office, their briefcase where they have the document, and so they also provide services. And so such people are not allowed to practice. We have made series of arrests. We have also prosecuted them in line with the Private Guard Act because no individual had a privilege to carry out watching, patrolling, or guiding except such an association or such an organization is registered and have been provided license for. And so where these provisions is not there, such person have a case to answer before the competent jurisdiction of a Nigerian court. And so we don't allow them to practice. And
okay, but what about amongst those that you are allowed to practice?
Yes.
Are you ensuring that they are actually following regulated standards, that they are not cutting corners in their jobs?
No cutting of corners. They are monitored, and so they cannot deviate.
How do you monitor them?
We ensure that their offices are inspected, and of course, they also renew licenses annually. Before the license is renewed at the end of the year, 3 months to the expiration of your current license, you must come for renewal. We check your premises. We ensure you have to pay all the taxes as required by government. We ensure that you are not owing your staff, and we ensure that you are providing enough, security services for your clients. There has not been any report, and where we have such report from your client, we call it to order. Even when you're not paying your staff, we call it to order to ensure that if they have work, they must be paid for. So we regulate and monitor their activities. We put a register on them on every visit we make to such company. We ensure that you have an office.
Okay,
you have
on
professional
scheduled
vehicles.
visits or scheduled visits?
On scheduled visit. We don't need to inform you that we are coming.
Okay.
So because we have the responsibility of government to visit you at any time.
Okay.
We ensure you have a capable hand to operate. You have a good office, that we can cite and see. We can also see that you have staff, you have operational staff, you have secretary, you have managers of your offices. And we, of course, will know how many clients do you have. Okay. And, of course, we can also have a feeler of your clients' report from time to time about your performance in their various locations.
How do you get across to the clients themselves?
Yes, you give us the list of the clients you have and the addresses of the clients. So we can send our monitoring team to those places. And they can see for themselves whether you're actually performing maximally or you're doing, what is not in line with your training.
All right. Okay. Fantastic.
Thank you.
You're doing great, yeah.
Yes, sir.
In terms of information management, vis-a-vis protection of lives and property,
yes.
Do you have a department that regulates this, that oversees this, and also ensure that the PGCs are doing their best in collating information that will translate to intelligence?
Yes.
Do you have such provisions?
Yes. We have the Department of Intelligence and Investigation in our federal state command. And where information are being sent from our operatives, the security company, we look at the value of the informations, we process the informations, we manage the informations, and ensure they are utilized effectively depending on the nature of the information. Where it's weighty enough, we ensure they are processed. Where it doesn't have more substance, we also look at it and then discard it. Because this is the reason for having regulated the private gas sector services. The reports they give to us is of very vital use for government. For instance, what's the role of the private gas security services in helping to combat insecurity in the Northeast? Most of our security services engage in JTF, and this is where they give information as regard to the operations of most of the Boko Haram activities and so on and so forth. And such trace of information has led to most of the arrests by the military. And so we value the information they see, we manage them, and we ensure that their image and their reputation is also kept undercover. And so this is the importance of the management of information as regards the provisions of the private gas security to our services. And of course, we don't play with them. And we also often write recommendation letters and appreciate such companies.
Okay, well, you know that this program is also audience participatory. At this point, I think we're going to be opening our phone lines. If you have any issues you want to raise, perhaps you have a private guard company that is working for you, and you have certain questions you want to ask, or you want to make some observations, the number you can call is 0906 766 0006. 0906 766 0006. That's the number you can call. Don't forget that you can actually send us an email to snsplatform@yahoo.com. You can also visit our Facebook page at Security and Safety Platform. Search for Security and Safety Platform on Facebook, and there you can join the conversation on the Facebook page. But for now, we're expecting your calls. Any other issue you want to be addressed on this, call the number 0906 766 0006. That's the number you can call. Okay, but we'll still continue with our questions. Joy, you have anyone?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The ACG? Thank you so much. Yeah, I need you to tell us if you have anything regulating the kitting of this, the private guards. Kitting, I mean, how do they appear? Are they professional enough? Okay. What about the uniform? Okay. The kitting generally. Do you have any system in place for best practices?
Yes. For all the guard companies registered under us, they will provide their uniform. They will provide their boots to our office, their belts, and every insignia they put on. In such, the reason is that the law provides that they must not wear uniform that resembles any of the services that are the military, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, of course, any paramilitary that is civil defense, or the immigrations, or the customs. They must have a uniform that have no resemblance. And so we take to ensure they have to provide such services, such uniform that they need to use for their day-to-day activities or operation. And we hang them in our offices and ensure that, for instance, Pentagon uniform does not resemble Hazard uniform or doesn't resemble a mobile security services. And so they must be known and to be seen and be identified by the services they belong to. Even though recently we are making a desire through the NSA to ensure we categorize the operations of private gas services into two groups. The group A to wear one uniform and identify them with a badge. The group B to wear one uniform and identify the company with their badges. Well, the NSA has not given an approval to that, but we believe that we want to, reduce the various spread of uniform of multiple colors, similar colors all over the country. But once such approval is given, we'll be able to put streamline their activities so that we have one set of uniform for category A company, we have another uniform for category B company. That will help to be able to enable us have a complete monitoring program of the excesses of uniform that have been worn by so many other companies.
Okay, well, we had some calls. You can call back if you just called. The number is 0906 766 0006. 0906 766 0006. That's the number you can call and ask your questions, whatever issues you want to find out about the private guards company, especially in terms of regulation by the NSCDC. If you have one operating in your compound, in your neighborhood, that you need clarifications on certain things, now is the time to call the number 0906 766 0006. And don't forget that at the end of the program, we'll also have a quiz for you to answer, so you have to really pay attention to the details of the conversation for this morning. Now, sir, in terms of, okay, I think we have a caller. Let's take this call first before we get to the question. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Amy, the black man from Maraba.
Okay, Amy, go ahead. Talk to us.
I just want to ask some questions.
Okay.
What I want to ask, let's assume I want to open this security outfit.
Yeah.
You said that after collecting 10 million naira, you said 10 million naira, I'm going to pay 2.5 million naira for 500 workers, 2 million for up to 500 workers. Let's assume I'm closing down this company. Maybe I want to travel abroad. This 10 million naira, will it be given back to me?
Okay, Amy, I think it's not the 10 million naira cash. It's at the corporate affairs. So maybe you listen, he's going to clarify issues.
Okay,
again.
I want to say, let's assume, can someone use, let's assume we have some people that they have one company, who have another person say subsidiary. Can it work that way? I don't have up to 2 million naira. I'll go and subsidize myself to somebody. Is it allowed? And what have I been doing to checkmate that all those things are not happening? And do they have any toll-free number? Let's assume there are some of these workers that are afraid to come out and say that Morga don't pay me money. Is there any toll-free number that I can call and report this thing to you people, since we are people that are regulating this agency? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your questions. I think quite relevant there as well. So maybe, sir, you might want to address some of the issues that he has raised. Okay, but please, just take note of the questions. Let's still take this call.
Yeah.
I think we lost that. 0906 766 0006. That's the number you can call to ask your questions this morning. Okay, you can answer the question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Taking note of your questions. But what we meant by 10 million is the share capital that you have no reason to operate except you raise a share capital through the corporate affairs with 10 million share capital, naira share capital. It's not really that you paid cash. The corporate affairs know how about to raise a 10 million share capital and share those capital among your directors who are the co-owners of that company. And so it's not that you pay cash to our office. What you pay cash to our office is the registration fees of 500,000 naira to corporate government accounts, and you bring the treasury receipt to our office from the bank, where we issue you a form to fill. And after the process of the form and all the necessary requirements have been provided by you, the next you do is to pay for personal history form for directors. If you have 2 directors, you pay 200,000. You have 3, you pay 300,000. And the form will be filled and sent to the Department of State Security Services for vetting and clearance of your security background. And after the approval has been given, the document will be sent to the Minister of Interior, where we also will release a license to you if you're qualified through the vetting of your security background. And so that is the process. And
what about the toll-free line? Any toll-free line?
Yeah, we have a toll-free line. But for a company that offers to provide services for category
A. Okay, sorry, sir. Please, we'll get back to the toll-free number.
Yeah.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, it appears we can't hear you very well. Maybe you can call back. I don't know if it's a network problem. Okay, please go ahead with the toll-free line.
Yeah, the Office of the Assistant Commandant General in charge of private guard number is the major toll-free line we have, and you can take it down so that you can make complaints about the non-paid guards, which we normally address through our monitoring unit, and ensure that complaints are vetted and, of course, they are reliable. And we call those companies to ensure they pay their wages to their client, to their staff who have worked for them. 080, the toll-free line 080 33 41 35 96.
Okay, you can take
080 33 41 35 96. We should be able to give you all necessary information regard the establishment of whatever issues about the company, the private company department, and of course, if there are any issues raised or any information you need to get acquainted with in the operations of the private company, we will to give it to you. And the second one is that if a client have paid the operators, the director of the company, it had an obligation to ensure that those guards are paid as I went due. For every month's payment collected, the guard must be paid.
Okay, so we'll take another question.
Good. Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Oh,
okay, maybe
we seem to have network problems.
Yeah, it's not getting across.
Okay, please call back.
You can call 0906 766 0006 or you can call 0802 600 7418. Any of the numbers can get across to us, so you can ask your questions if you have any question. We have another caller on the line.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ola. My name.
Ola, you're welcome.
Yes, I'm calling from Warren.
Okay, go ahead.
Go
Ola.
ahead, yeah.
I want to thank the officer here in the studio.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Now, this is my question.
Okay. Please go.
The whole situation of this private guard all over, how are they checkmating it?
Please come again. What did you say? The situation or something?
The situation, the number of all these security guards,
Okay, fine.
this
Yeah.
company,
Okay.
all around.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
are they checkmating it?
Okay.
That is one. Number two, I heard him saying in America, by American security standards, it's 1,000 per policeman. Can you substantiate that? Is it 100 men or 1,000 citizens per one policeman? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, listen.
Okay, thank you. What we are saying is that we have a monitoring and regulatory department of the private guard company. What we do is to ensure the monitoring group checkmarks the security company from time to time. And of course, the security companies also write a report to us, in addition to the monitoring report we receive from each of these companies. And so that is the way we checkmate it. And those who have not been authorized to operate are closed down. Those who have not been properly renewing their licenses are asked not to continue. And even when companies, say they are no longer functional, we expect them to return the license certificate back to our office and to close down their operations until when they are deemed fit necessary to continue their operations. And so that's the way we checkmate the proliferations of security companies that are spread here and there in the country. What we are saying about the UN standard is that in Nigeria, where we have a large crowd of Nigerians, population census have made us to understand that we're almost about 400 people in Nigeria. And we have more than, not up to 3,000 police, or 5,000 policemen, or 500,000 policemen in the country. For every citizen, we have the right to protect, to be policed. And so the number of policemen we have in our country is not equivalent to the number of crowd of Nigerians we have in our populations. And of course, this has been difficult in policing the Nigerian. And we are saying that the private gas department had bridged the gap between the policemen and the private sector, where they also provide security services at their various locations, in churches, in mosques, in private conglomerates and private individuals' homes. This is the way the activities of the private government have complemented that of the policing, to be able to beef up the security provision for all Nigerians. And so they are playing a vital role. And we want to emphasize that when you hire the services of any private licensed security services, please look at if they have a license to operate. And if they have a license to operate, ensure that you work with them because they have what it takes to provide such services.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps this is the last call. Hello? What's your name and where are you calling from? Yeah.
This is Emmy the Batman Papa. I just have one small question again.
Okay.
I want to ask the mode of payment. Is it that everybody should pay as they like? Some pay 10,000, some pay 15,000. Is there a form of a minimum wage that left government, federal government will say 18,000?
Salary structure.
Is it a pay as you like? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. The private gas also have an association they call the Licensed Security Practitioners of Nigeria. And in Lagos zone, they have come up with a minimum wage of 25,000 for every guard that operates in Lagos, effective 1st January 2018. They will be paid 25,000 naira at a minimum wage. We expect that other zones will take such issues and make it mandatory, because the reason is that we try to accept with the recommendation in order to check the unnecessary, poor wages paid to staff to guard, because we also have in our own program to also improve the more capacity on the guard. We shall be giving permits to guard in no distant time. For a guard to permit, he will be given a permit and he will renew the permit. And so if he's poorly paid, how will he be able to function? We want to bring standard to the private gas industries, and we'll be able to ensure that by the grace of God, this is achieved. And that will have more value to private department, private gas operations in our country. So we expect that if other zones take up a minimum wage of 25,000, the guys should be able to provide such services and, of course, work and get trained and provide the services for which it is being trained for and being paid for. We expect that when you go to bargain for businesses with your client, please don't bargain poorly, because when you bargain poorly, it will be difficult for you to pay your guide, considering your operational costs.
All right, thank you so much, sir. And at this point, it's time for us to tell you the quiz for this week. Remember, last week's quiz was won by Adams Accor. So Adams Accor, we're still going to find a way to reach you through your telephone number so that you can come and pick your prize. But for this week, we have two questions for you. Who is the present NSCDC Commandant General? Who is the present NSCDC Commandant General? What year was the Armed Forces Radio created? The date, the month, and the year. The date, the month, and the year. Send your answers to 0906 766 0006. Your answers to 0906 766 0006. Don't forget to add your name and your location. I think that's all for today.
Okay, thank you so much. We give our special thanks to the NSCDC Commandant General, who is ably represented here by ACJ Nathaniel Ubong, the Private Guards Companies Department Headquarters Abuja. Thank you so much. It's nice having you around, and we hope to see you to have you on this program some other time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, presenter. Thank you, Nigerians.
Okay, I think, Joy, that's why we're going to be wrapping it up. Thank you, Joy, for coming on the show. I remain Chinyerugo Chimuba, but don't forget, this program is also open for sponsorship. If you want to sponsor the program, you're very, very free to do so. Still get across to us through the number 0906 766 006, and we'll hear from our sponsors and wrap it up for the day. Have a great day.